What's going on, people? Welcome to the Offside Chat. It's your boy Nobere. I'm joined in the Offside Chat studio with Naeem and Edward. What's going on, boys? How are you, man?
All is blessed, man. All is
All
blessed.
right, man. Been better, but another day. We thank God.
Exactly, we do. Thank God. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. But listen, let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. And Manchester City ended up victorious in the Carabao Cup final with Arsenal on Sunday, 22nd of March, 2026. So congratulations to Manchester City. But listen, look, I'm going to start off with a rally call for the Arsenal supporters out there, man. Hold your nerve, homies. Hold your nerve. Nobody likes losing a final at all. But I'm just gonna put out a rallying call. I know some supporters have been crashing out about this. Rightfully so. You lose a final, you're not gonna be happy about this. However, I just want them to hold their nerve, understand the club that they support. Because listen, look, I'm old enough to have seen 5 league titles. And if you told me in 1989 who knocked us out of the 1989 Littlewoods or League Cup in 1989, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who knocked us out of the 1989 FA Cup final. Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you if we were in Europe or not. I think we still banned English teams. What I do remember is we won the league. And what I do remember, young Arsenal fans that weren't even alive, they use it when they argue against people and say, yeah, but we won the league in 89. I moved to 91. Who won the FA Cup in 1991? Was an Arsenal. So we got beaten, right? We got beaten in the Littlewoods or whatever the League Cup again in 91. Europe, nothing. So again, I talked to you about this. Oh, we won the league in 91 though. Remember this though, guys, yeah? We moved to 98. What happened in the UEFA Cup in 98? Can't remember. Carling Cup, it's Wenger days. Don't even bother. But I do remember we won the double. 2002, we won the double again. And most importantly, what my point is Invincibles. Everyone and their mum seems to forget what a tense season that season was in 2004. I know that we lost FA Cup to Manchester United. I think it was semi-final, quarterfinals. Paul scores 1-0. 3 days later, we get knocked out in the Champions League by Chelsea.
Cambridge.
Weybridge, who then went on to face Monaco in the semi-final and then Porto in the final. You look at that, it still makes me feel sick because I think with that team, we would have beaten Monaco and could have beaten Porto. No one remembers that. All we keep talking about is the Invincibles. Oh, look, we won the league. So look, I get it. Everyone's crashing out. This is Arsenal's, may I count, 4th defeat in all competitions. 4. Season started in August 2025. We are now near the end of March 2026. It's not nice to lose. It's not nice to lose in finals. All this rubbish about if we played well, it's fine. Rubbish. Rubbish. It's rubbish. It doesn't matter. No one likes to lose in finals. But keep your heads, boys. I'm frustrated, of course, but I think the players and the manager have done enough. I've seen monologues on what should have happened and what shouldn't happen. It's true. We all make mistakes. But my priority is lifting that Premier League. If you get the FA Cup or the Champions League, out of all of those 4 competitions, the priority is the Premier League. And it looks like the fan base is Premier League and then Champions League and then obviously the FA Cup. And currently we are in the driving seat of one of them. And again, look, we've got the FA Cup against Southampton in the quarterfinal and Champions League quarterfinal against Sporting Lisbon. So let's just look at that. And the reason why I didn't, Ed knows, maybe people call me a snob or not. The League Cup, of course, if we win it, I'm going to be excited about it. But I've made it very clear. Guys, if you don't know about Arsenal Football Club, it's never been a cup that's defined anything for us. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying I don't want to win it. But you don't look back and think, do you remember that League Cup? Yeah, the double in 1993 with the FA Cup hasn't done anything for us. It's not the same. You can't look into someone's house and say, yeah, that works for them, so this works for us. It's just never been a cup. So I've listed off 89, 91, 98 double, 2002 double, 2004. I've listed all of these times that Arsenal were the best team in the country. And not once have I heard an Arsenal supporter say, yeah, do you know that league title winning team? They showed character because they won the Littlewoods Cup. That's why we won it, because it gave us momentum. Where was the momentum for all the other times? Where's the momentum? Where? I remember we had Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira, Gilberto, Pires, Lundberg, Campbell, Chure, Ashley Cole, Lehman. One of the best squads that we've ever seen. And we came around finishing first and winning the league. Not to have Champions League, not to have Carabao Cup, not to have all the cups. So all I'm saying, bros, this title race isn't easy. And maybe because it's been a long time that we're forgetting. There's going to be bumps in the road. Are you telling me this bump in the road is more painful than Chelsea in the Champions League? Are you telling me when Wayne Bridge scored that goal, is that more painful? Is that bump in the road a bit more painful? I will never forget that. So I'm just saying, hold on, homies. Yeah? Crash out all you want. It's the fourth defeat. We make mistakes. It's out the way now. Now the season really kicks in. Now it's squeezy bum time. Because this is, finally I'm going to say, last week, everybody was over the moon. Arsenal supporters. Listen, the food tasted fantastic. Even if you went to Greg's. I don't even eat Greg's, you know, it's trash. I'll say it out now. But I can imagine that steak bake. It tasted fantastic, everybody, on a Sunday. Everyone Arsenal fans glided into that Leverkusen game. You know why? Max Dowman, oh, Max Dowman, Gyökeres, beating them, Everton 2-0. Oh my God, I can't believe we've gone 10 points clear. Shall we tune into the City game? We did tune into the City game, and they dropped points against West Ham, and it's 9 points now. All doom and gloom. Oh, then they go and get beaten again, stuffed by Real Madrid, and we go in and beat Bayer Leverkusen. Amazing goal by Eze. This is what we wanted. Our number 10 has arrived here. Champions League, hold that. We're all flying into the weekend. And then because of this game, this is what I told you guys, this Carabao Cup winds me up, because now this defeat's there, but now doom and gloom. My brothers, look at them. Last week, bare teeth. I didn't even know some of them had fillings, but I see it all. I said, Lord of mercy. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna shame one of you two, but one of you two, I said, right, you need to go to the doctor. But anyway, I'm not gonna cuss you, man. Now look, my brothers are all doom and gloom. I'm holding this one to account. Shut your mouths, man. Shut your mouths. It's one defeat. So all I'm saying is that a couple of weeks' time, if we go out to Southampton in the cup, come for me. If we drop points at home against Bournemouth, come for me. But right now, we'll never know. So listen, we've lost the final. Let the players use this. They know how it feels to go and lose. It's nasty. You see City celebrating. Not that much, to be fair, because I think they know deep down, right, do you want the league or the cup? They'll give that cup back. So calm. The ops, they're running their mouths. They're running their mouths for a reason, man, them. Because we've only lost our fourth game of the whole season. This is the work that's been done so far. So you've got to keep things in-house now. You've got, honestly, behind closed doors, we might be a bit worried about this one or that one or what's going on. But to the outside world, you've got to keep the family close, because you can see what's happening now. If we were rubbish, they won't say nothing about this. It's the fact that we've annoyed people. We've been good this season. It's the fourth defeat. That's it. So guys, chin up. That's all I've got to say. I can't wait to hear what these men have got to say. But that's where I'm at as an Arsenal supporter. It's the calmest I've been in a defeat. And that's mad. I usually crash out. But to be fair, it's fine. If you're going to lose one, I don't mind losing this one. They're not perfect, man. We ain't got Henry. We haven't got Mbappe. We know what squad we've got. And we've done well. Support them. You know what I mean? Support them when they're down. It's very easy to, last week we winning. So we're, yeah. Now they need a little bit of support. We lost to Man United in January.
Mm-hmm.
That was painful. Look what they've done since then. Look what the boys have done. So hold that. Tottenham, hold that. Do you know what I mean? Champions League, hold that. FA Cup, hold that. This is what we're doing. We're going to go 10 points clear as well for you, man. Don't worry. They need to be picked up again. So that's all I ask. It's a rallying call. That's all I ask. And that's me, man. Edwards, I'll let you take the stage. Or Naeem. Whichever one of you, man. But I don't want to see you.
No Ben Luther King, you know. I have a dream.
Who's this pastor?
Man tried to do Million Man March for the Carabao Cup. Yeah, shut up, man. Oh, that's funny, man. No, but to be fair, when you put it into perspective like that, it calms things down, man. Like we said last week, I actually had a strange feeling about the game. Some of my boys in one of my other group chats can say, I said to them, I reckon we lose this game, you know. And the reason why I said this is for City, this meant more because if the season was to end today, they're 9 points behind the league leaders, which is us, right? So they needed to lay a marker down. And I think if we had won that game, I think they would have given up the ghost. I really do. However, why I was upset yesterday wasn't so much losing. You can lose a game. It's the manner in which we lost. Apart from the first 20 minutes, we couldn't do anything against the City team. And this is a City team that have had more questions than answers this year. Everyone has said this is probably the weakest City team they've had since Pep's been at the club. They look devoid of defensive prowess. Their attack isn't that great. Haaland hasn't really been at the races since January. He's still obviously the league leader in goals scored, but he doesn't look like he can buy a goal for love nor money. And then if you look at the lineups, they had a raft of defensive injuries. Diaz is out, Gay is cup-tied, John Stones is a shell of himself, so we don't know if he's fit. But they had, you know, two fullbacks that are essentially midfielders anyway. So you're thinking, our recent record against City, we've had a good recent record against them. I think we're unbeaten in, was it last maybe 4 or 5?
I think it's 6 actually.
6. Okay, so we're unbeaten in the last 6, and we know how to, you know, especially at home, get decent results against them. Etihad is a different story altogether, right? But our recent record is good, and then you're seeing that sort of makeshift defense. You're thinking, I know our attack isn't the best, but with a makeshift defense, let's ask a few questions. Let's pull these makeshift fullbacks apart. Let's make sure that the centre backs have no rest. And apart from the first 20 minutes in which Havertz had a chance to, you know, maybe make it 1-0, we got penned in our own half. We couldn't get out, you know. And what's more frustrating is City weren't even that good. It wasn't this swashbuckling City side that keep the ball, patterns of play, hit you for 5 or 6. No, it was very much a professional performance, and it was dogged, but they still had the quality when it mattered compared to us. And that's the frustrating thing is, the lead up to the game, the final, was all the talk. You saw interviews from Rice and Saka, and, you know, I fell victim to it, you know, the Arsenal PR machine, and, you know, win this for the guys, lads. And then you go, and when you're asked to do something, you go out of a whimper, and it's weak and it's insipid. And there was...
sorry, yeah. I want to ask you questions. Sorry, I'll let you finish. Sorry, no, but I'll let you finish, man. Yeah.
And it's like, again, you can lose games. No one's got a divine right to win every game. But come on, man. Like, this is your first final in 6 years. Granted, it's a Carabao Cup. Everyone has their opinions in the Carabao Cup. Some people don't rate it. Some people rate it highly. At the end of the day, a final's a final. And the performance was poor. No one, apart from maybe Saliba and Gabriel, can hold their head up high. Nobody. Trossard, Kai Havertz, the less said about him, the better. Gokrez, we know he's Marmite, right? No one shone. Zubimendi didn't shine. Rice, who's been a pillar for us. And it's almost like you wet the bed. Saka, again, wet the bed. And that's the frustrating thing. That's why I think a lot of Arsenal fans are upset. It's not about the rivals. Bun them. They can have their little 2 pence. They've got nothing to talk about. So of course you're going to find joy in Arsenal doing crap. But it's the fact that this is your first final as this sort of soon to be super team or what it is, or a good team rather. Super team's too much, but a team that seems to be going places, and you just wet the bed, man.
No, listen, Ed, I hear that, and let me interject, and we're gonna obviously debate, and I know Naeem's gonna put his 2 pence in. 2017, people still talk about this Antonio Conte, this Chelsea team that have Hazard,
Costa,
Fabregas, Costa, Cahill, blah, 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 blah. And they were actually league champions. And they went into the FA Cup final and probably did, to good teams, or dominant teams, or the team on the day that has the better players or that's available. Look, Manchester City, they lost to Palace last season. Manchester City, they've lost to Wigan. Even worse. I think this could be worse than the Birmingham against that. Like, it does happen on cup finals. And I agree with you, Ed. I think 2 things can be right. You're right that the performance wasn't good yesterday, but also big teams lose finals. It happens. And we've never, I don't know what the Manchester City fans were saying or Chelsea fans were saying on that day, but you lot are league champions. Why are you losing to these so-called bums Arsenal? This thing with City as well, you're right. They were missing players. But I'm not having this. With City, I'm not letting them off. Every season, you should finish above Arsenal. I don't care what anyone said. There's this weird narrative that we're better than City. No, you spend more money. You've got the best striker in the world. You've got centre-backs that have won so many league titles. You've got the best manager in the world. I didn't hear Alex Ferguson saying, 6 and I'm burnt out, or 4 and burnt out. This guy dropped 13 and he just kept winning. Yeah, they had the little weird part where Chelsea won back-to-back, but Man United were back.
Which is what they're doing now. So,
but with City, but I'm not hearing that. They've got the better, we've got a better squad than City. Then something's wrong because you, man, dropped 300 in January. Yeah, I know what you're going to say they can do, but you've got the best striker in the history of the game that's ever played in English football. I don't want to hear it. They've got quality all over the pitch, and they're better. They're more advanced. They're winners. We're bottlers. So all this stuff, we should have done this to City and stuff like that. I think we can argue thinking, why should we have done that to City? They're the best, right? That they're the benchmark. They are one of the greatest Premier League teams I've seen. They've still got the same manager. I hear about the injuries, Ed. That's what I said. 2 things can be right. The performance was not great. There's no 2 ways about that. I think it should have been better. But then again, I can argue that, 2 goals. We weren't battered in there. It weren't free-flowing football from Manchester City. I'm sitting there thinking, right, so Nketiah got booked early. Semenyo, he's going on like he ripped this Nketiah inside out. No, but that's the way that people are going on. And what I saw was not a great performance from us. I think Havertz, 2 key moments. I think Havertz, you bury that, it's a different game. Because City are thinking, oh my God, we need to come out at them. Maybe we'll hit them on the break. And 2, Kepa, you can't legislate for those sort of mistakes. And I'm seeing the 2 goals, 2 headers. One from that mistake, and then the other one was out of character. So I'm not sitting there thinking, oh my God, we really got taught a lesson by City. Maybe they didn't really have to do too much. I don't think we were great on the day. But all I'm saying is that there's been other better teams. I've seen Man United in the heyday of winning Prems for fun, and they lost to Everton in 95. Like, I've seen this, and I'm not going to sit there and a Man United fan and say, right, as long as we gave it a good goal. No, you should not be losing.
You know where...
Even make it better.
You know where there's a little bit of difference?
Talk to me.
When you use the Chelsea situation,
yeah,
they had won the league, or they were about to win the league, and they won the league 2 years ago under Jose. So they've got history of winning the leagues. So when you haven't won anything for a long time, optics and the need to win things are different from if you're in a period where you're winning year in, year out, or you're winning every couple of years. So when United lose to Everton in 95, they've been winning the league. They won the league in 94. They won the league in 93. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can afford a slip. We haven't won anything since 2020. And there's a desperation, for lack of a better word, to pick up a trophy here or there to bookend the process. Now, will we win it in May? We hope so. We put ourselves in the driver's seat, right? But what it is when you haven't won for so long, and it seems like Arsenal shouldn't be going 6 years. Yes, I know you say, oh, Wenger didn't go. Wenger went 9 years, and we understand that. But truth of the matter is, with what Arteta spent, with how he's made his team, to go this long without making a final is a bit of an indictment for me. And everyone else can say, oh, look, we had to do clear up the mess. Cool. But the way you've been moving this team to not make a final, I'm looking at you funny. Then to make the final and then to go out with a whimper, again, I'm looking at you like, rah, like, come on, man. When are we finally going to realize we can win stuff? Now, again, it could be in May. We could win the Champions League. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? A lot can happen between now and May, right? But what I'm saying is, when you make them stages, yeah, but put your best foot forward, man. Put your best foot forward. And for 70 minutes, yeah, we were second best, bro. City didn't bop us, but they didn't have to get out of second or third gear. Like I said, that's why it's frustrating. I looked at that match. I was watching the match. Again, this ain't 2016 City. This ain't Centurions. This isn't quadruple. This is the City coming to the end of their cycle, and they still know how to win against us. Whether it's we shot ourselves in the foot or we conceded to them and said, you know what, yeah, we ain't got nothing for you today.
But remember, we just said that they haven't beaten us in 6 games. And then now they're not to win against us. You talk about and we never met them in cup. Well, we met them in the FA Cup a couple of times. But what I'm saying is that they haven't beaten us for 6. So I wouldn't put it down to they know how to beat us.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Yeah. On the day when it mattered the most, they still know how to get the win. That's what I'm saying. When it mattered the most, which is a Carabao Cup final, a trophy's on the line, they still said, you know what, hold that. And that's the frustrating thing, because again, they've got injuries. They're not in the best run of form, and they said, you know what? We ain't going out with a whimper today. And that was the difference between us and them, is they were like, you know what? This might be our only chance to win a trophy. F it. We're going to do it, man. And that's the
I don't think that but listen, I don't think that we're saying that they didn't go out with a whimper. I think, as I said, I repeat, a mistake from the goalkeeper and, the marking from Saka, from O'Reilly on that second was shocking. So again, I'm with Ed. I agree in terms of our performance, but I'm not going to put credit to say, oh my God, City went out there and they did this and that. We were really bad. We made it quite easy for them.
The same thing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, but a little different. Yeah, but I'm not going to start saying City were like, yeah, let's go out there. We know how to beat. City are beating us for 6 games. They don't know how to beat Arsenal anymore. That's why they're throwing stuff about, everyone is throwing stuff out about, free kick merchants, that's all they do, be humble and stuff. Because if you know how to beat, no, I hear that. But if you know how to beat
that's an outside noise. They listen,
I hear it.
Has shown, like, rival fans, they're going to be rival fans.
Yeah.
They've made an economy, of trying to kick us off our perch. Remember, we're meant to be the insufferable ones, we're this, we're that. But have you noticed how everyone and their mum has been insufferable towards us? But, we just got to take it, right? Hold this L, trying to rattle us and do this. But I don't care. Do what you want, man. Do what you want. You've got rival fans wearing Man City shirts and doing nonsense. Just a whole like nonsense behavior, yeah? And they're making their money, they're making an economy out of it. Do what you want. For me, I'm concerned about, listen, okay, cool. When Arsenal get to the dance, don't wet their bed, innit? Like, actually act like you've been there before. It's rich because they haven't been there before. But, brother, like, you're meant to be a top team. Play like a top team. Unless we're not a top team. Would you say we're a top team?
I think we are a top team, but listen, we were playing better. We were playing better football.
Allegedly, I'll give you my view in a minute, but allegedly we are. Unbelievable.
I can't wait to hear this. But under Wenger, we were a very top team. I'm talking about the barren spell of 9 years. We played great football, play like a top team, act like you want to win things. And I watched the game where we've usually dominated teams, played some beautiful football, some of the best I've seen in Emirates era under Wenger. And we lost to Birmingham. Now, again, the style that we went out there was going to be front foot, attacking wise. And I've seen front foot, attacking wise football, us beaten. I remember when we took on Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Again, I think we've done it about 2 finals with them. Again, much better team in terms of the style and play and how we were playing. And we still lost. So the question is, you're right, Ed. I agree with you. I think we're both right. But I'm saying the style of...
Where were those teams finishing in the league, though? Because remember, I know what you're trying to do. Those teams are finishing 4th. These teams ain't at the top of the table.
Bro, I know.
You're not supposed to win those teams.
Table playing a certain brand of football, though, isn't it now? We are at the top of the football doing it a different way. So for me to say, yeah, but you got to go out and impose yourself, it's a bit different. As I said, I think we're both saying the same thing. We just didn't play well. I'm just not going to sit here and say, oh my God, I'm going to give credit to City because they, well done. You won it. You took advantage. 2 headers from O'Reilly. Listen, Ed, I know you've done betting in the past. There's no way you would have said City are winning this 2-0 and it's actually going to be O'Reilly 2 headers. If anybody's bet that, no, that's what I'm trying to say.
You wouldn't have seen me today.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would have booked somewhere. I'd have been listening. Where's Ed?
Make sure I see you. Make sure you just say what's your account number thing. I don't need to see.
I ain't giving you no money. Move, man. I ain't giving you no bread. God, man, we love money. Give me, move, man. I ain't giving you no bread.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh my God, they did something that we expected them to do. But listen, cool. I love it. I love the tussle, Ed. Naeem, I cannot wait to hear. Allegedly, we're a top team. I'm ready to tussle. Let's go.
No, that's fine, and I appreciate the sermon at the start of the show. It was
fast on the bear,
I know, I see the Stony as well. Too many questions. No, we move on. I think
offering money.
Offering money, yeah. Taking account numbers, right?
Eyes are too, yeah. This laser eye treatment. I missed the old Naeem. What's his name again from Danger Mouse? I missed that one. But I mean, glasses. He used to be like, "Where are you?" Yeah, I missed that.
There was no danger of City losing that game yesterday. The way Arsenal played, to be fair, I think Ed made some very good points. I'm not going to go over them too much. And look, I think there is content. We spoke over the weekend, and you've always had the same energy with the Carling Cup. So.
It's Jordan mids, man. You want me to get excited over this?
However, I do get Ed made some very valid points. Arsenal won the league 2 seasons ago, and there's the past 3 seasons, Arsenal should have at least won one of them. There'd be less questions after losing this game. They said, all right, to your point with the Chelsea thing, if those examples you made before, Arsenal were never in the running and looked upon as being a top team at that point. They were in the top 4. They were challenging, but they were challenging for top 4. They weren't challenging for the title. I think the biggest thing is, I think I've got to give credit to City because I think tactically they shut down Arsenal's midfield. Arsenal couldn't play through. Kepa couldn't be part of that. I mean, yeah. They just sat there in terms of that bank of 4. So I've got to give them the credit for that. But I think the biggest concern, what annoyed me was, okay, went 2 goals in 4 minutes, was it? And look, it happens, and Kepa made a mistake. Everyone makes a mistake. There was no real urgency afterwards, I found. And that's where it was a bit indicting. I think if you had at least played poorly, but at least tried a bit more, it felt once the second goal went in, I didn't expect Arsenal to score at least a goal.
Did you want them to bust the gut now? Is that what you wanted them to do? Like in a title running?
I think you're there in a cup final, but you're there in a cup final and it's there to win, right? End of the day. And I think it was a bit Bar Havertz's chance in the first 20 minutes. Arsenal did nothing. And even poorer Arsenal teams showed a bit more threat. And it just felt, I just think City handled the nerves better. They've been to plenty of Wembley. Most of them have seen it, done it before. But potentially just handled the nerves better, where Arsenal were a bit nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a shocking about forward passes that Arsenal didn't pay hardly any. Eze was a massive miss. Obviously, that link was Arsenal went 2 basically, and I think it showed that there was no guile really there. We know Saka's not having the greatest season, as we've discussed in the past couple of weeks. So I think the measuring stick out of the whole thing will be when they come back FA Cup and then Bournemouth.
Right. Let me ask you a question, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, no one's wrong, and everyone feels the way that they should feel after this. The last 3 games: Everton at home, Bayer Leverkusen in the second leg of the Champions League going into the quarterfinal.
Yeah, I know you said this.
Which ones is the most important win, second and third? If you had to lose any one of those 3, which one would you want to lose?
You'd lose the cup final, technically, based on...
No.
We spoke about this often. Like, no, it's true.
My God. Don't let him do that.
We are looking at this game. We're not looking at a season review so far, right?
Don't let him do that.
I know. It's all this. All these special effects.
Don't let him do that. Don't let him do that, man.
No, but that was a complete hospital part of himself. I don't even. Listen,
how dare you say that?
While you can console yourself, I think. Look,
I have to.
It will come down to how Arsenal.
Shut up, guys.
No. You can have all this. But listen, it'll come down to May, and we'll see what happens. The next couple of games will be key. Come back from international football. There's a lot of players have been pulled out of international. I'm hoping that's Arteta learning a bit of dark arts and finally getting some of these players a bit of rest.
I think so, because
after flogging them a lot,
everyone's shopping up.
Yep.
But as I said, let's talk after Bournemouth and see if Arsenal should beat Southampton, should beat Bournemouth at home. But let's be fair, we've seen funnier things in football, and we will discuss that I think later in the show as well. And then we'll see how Arsenal bounce back against every defeat. I think that's a fair point. 4 defeats the whole season. I think it being a cup final, it does add a bit of seasoning to it. And
being a cup final, it does add to it, but it's not as important as a league game against.
Listen.
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying. But let's not forget that league game. Everyone was gassed because Everton deserved a point out of that game. Let's not forget this.
Which one would you like to lose? I mean, and you said
if I had said the league game, you'd have gone, "Oh, shock horror! I stuck for a line."
No, you should do.
However,
you still got more final. Is a cup final.
It's a cup final. That's
you're not going to twang your way at this about what would you rather lose.
At the end of the day, trophies. We still want trophies, right?
Listen, it's not just a cup final because you've clearly said that you prefer the 3 points against Everton.
I think you're trying to convince yourself here, though. Right?
This is what you said.
You gave me the options of the 3, right?
Okay.
If I had said any of them, I would have always going to lose this game anyway. So let's not forget this. I was about to use another word I shouldn't do. I think, look, end of the day, let's see what happens. And let's credit to City though, and they set themselves up pretty well. They scored the 2 goals, defended stoutly. Let's see the energy they have when Arsenal go to the Emirates now, because that looks pivotal, doesn't it?
The Etihad,
I reckon they're going to try and punch us in the mouth again because they're on a back foot, right? So they're
depends if they pick up the points again, though. However, if they pick up the points, isn't it?
Of course. Our stance is a cup final. Yes, we know it's the Carabao Cup, whatever. Don't go out with a whimper, man. Like, show a bit about you, man. Because remember, we're supposed to be in our pomp. This is meant to be, players in certain ages. Declan Rice is in his prime. Odegaard's in his prime. They're converging at the right time. But go and start nicking trophies, man. Like, go and start being that team that you can go on a run. Now, like if you reverse it and say, listen, if you can only win the Carling Cup out of the 4, of course we're going to be livid. Of course, it's going to be a bad season. However, do business as business is being done, basically. So with this final now, you got to the final. Okay, put it this way: you beat Chelsea in dramatic fashion in the second leg to go to the final. We're all happy, we're all jumping for joy. You get to the final now, and it's like you forget how to play football. Suddenly, the lights are too bright. That's the annoying thing. It
happens with all top teams. Of course, it happens in these finals, man.
However, the top teams that you cited, they have a habit of winning things. We haven't got the habit yet.
Ooh,
You know what
no,
I'm saying?
I hear. Listen, I hear that, but again, we have to wait until May. We can revisit this because I'm going to revisit this, guys. If a Premier League title is lifted, I'm going to revisit this. What are we? 23rd of May. I'm
Yeah,
going to
this is
revisit.
not. No,
You're arguing with us. No one's arguing against you. We're not
exactly.
saying that this Carabao Cup
I'm
is the
not-
best
I'm-
inside spread. We are saying, yeah,
We look at this.
when you get to the final, don't go
Okay.
out like suckers, innit? That's
Yeah.
what we're saying. Don't go out like
Say the same as you about the performance was poor, right? We expected a bit more, but there is bigger fish to fry. Overall. We just said that. We're talking in context of the cup final, right? It's a cup final.
That's all I'm saying. Listen, man.
Yeah.
When the pastor preaches, just pay your tithes. I don't
pay my tithes.
Pay your tithes, you know.
This is like
oil salesman, man.
Benny Hill,
them man there.
I know you man have been healed, but I know, you know what? I know you man were moved by the Holy Spirit with that one. I can tell.
He's paying them people that can already walk to walk again. You know what I mean? You can't walk.
You got it,
you got the eyes. You know what I mean?
What can you see? Blue. Hold on. I thought you're blind. How do you know that's blue?
Yeah. I know you. Listen, all I've got to say, look, when you're doing the Lord's work, you might be heckled. I know I've done the Lord's work.
Wow.
Don't blaspheme like that.
Listen. Oh, so now it's the Lord. Yeah, listen, there's only one true Lord.
Listen, amen. But
look, man, at the end of the day, I know that the sermon, you felt that. I could feel it. But remember, you've lot been living in darkness for so long. So when you see a little bit of light, you're gonna reject it.
There's been listening too much, that's what it's wrong.
I'm not giving up on you, brothers. But and you're right, we should have performed better in the final. But if we are at the parade, I'm just gonna remind you in North London, by the way. I'm gonna hope, guys, we're gonna talk about it, Carabao Cup. You're gonna tell me, shut up. Shut up. Let's just what
did Naeem and I say? We said, listen, on the grand scheme of things, in importance, the Carabao Cup is not that important. But again, you get to the final, and remember,
you want to
win, and actually play with some sense. Like, we saw horror shows from everyone that's meant to be a top boy in our team. Havertz. This is why I can never be on your side, bro. You play for Arsenal, so if you do well, I'm happy. But on nights like yesterday, you show why you're such a polarizing figure. Because all we hear from his acolytes is he's a shooter, he's this, he's that, he's a space invader, he's a regen of Thomas Muller. You've heard people say he plays like Robin Van Persie. How dare you? How dare you? As much as I can't stand Robin Van Persie for what he done and how he left, how dare Robin Van Persie was a bad man.
Who compared it to Robin Van Persie? I need to know this man.
Too cool. And apparently there's clips of Henri saying some stuff.
I don't doubt you. But that's
what I mean. And thank you. See that face you made? You see that incredulous tone in your voice? It's mental. Listen, he's a professional footballer. He's mashing dough, yeah? You've got a dream job, but my eyes, as bad as they are, I have seen you play football. Nothing about you, Kai Havertz, screams RVP. Nothing. There's no touch. There's no striking ability. There's no tech. You don't even go past players. I've seen Van Persie do madness. I've seen him do madness. There's nothing you've done as a footballer, especially playing for Chelsea and Arsenal, where I've sat back and said, This guy's a madness. You are okay. You are okay at 9 and you're air at 10. You're a Swiss Army knife that's being paid like an elite player. And then you go and do that. You let the ball run across you for 25 minutes. By the time you shoot, the goalie's already there. What are you doing? Now people say he's injured. Now people say, he's rusty. No, I'm not having that excuse. Because
listen, look,
when there's players you don't like, you don't allow for rustiness and other excuses. So I'm not going to give you that. I'm not going to give you that.
Yeah,
Trossard should have been hooked. He stank.
Everyone stank. I think the point everyone stank, right?
Two things that stood out.
The chance and he fluffed his lines, but I thought everyone was poor. But I think centre backs. I think a bit of a good centre back.
Before we move on, there's two things that I would say. Yeah, I mean we didn't play well. I do believe though, if Havertz buries that chance, I mean, look, the manager himself, who is the biggest Havertz fan ever, he actually came out and was pretty disappointed we didn't finish his dinner, because he even said, look, if that chance goes in, it's a different game. And I believe it would have been a different game. But that was a really bad chance to miss. I mean, people say that he's not fit, if that they're using that excuse. If you're fit enough and chosen to play in a game, to start a game, you got to finish that chance. Like, that chance there was harder to miss. And secondly, I think I've changed now. Before, I used to be quite sentimental. Like, oh, look, if I think the great managers, and it looks like Arteta is following suit from his mentors. Pep does it. He'll play his second string in a particular cup and make sure that they play the final. I know Trafford was signed to be number one, but he is number two. Donnarumma's there. They've used him for the whole competition. He played the final. I know Arsene Wenger used to do that with Ospina. Do you remember? He played the FA Cup final. They use him in all of the rounds, and I think Arteta's doing it. And I when I saw Kepa there, I thought, you know what, fair enough. That's the sentimental part of me. Now, I've changed forever. I've forever changed, because you got to look at that number two and say, you know what, you've done great to get us here. Thank you, but you get paid way too much money to be sulking when I need my number one. This is a one-off game. We can lift the trophy here. Fans have paid big money for this. I'm not questioning what you've done before, but you are back up. So it's literally, I'm telling you what you already know that you are. You can't come to, oh my God, I didn't. Because if that's the case, then Norgard should have started. Or Miles Lewis-Skelly should have started, because they've started all the way through the Carabao Cup and they didn't. So again, that's that. I've changed now. That's it. Because if managers like to do this thing with goalkeepers, always, no. So what about the DM? Why didn't you start him? I'll play my best team. You playing it was 1 foot in and 1 foot out yesterday. That's the criticism, because Norgard should have been in there as well. He helped you get there, and he hasn't put a foot wrong since he's come in. But you didn't want to choose him in that game. Fair enough. So that Kepa thing of, he's played all the way through, it's a non-starter there. But we move on. We move on because there's a lot of teams out there that were waiting to see Arsenal lose that Carabao Cup so they can get the heat off them, but they won't. We're talking about relegation, something that Tottenham Hotspur have been involved in for just under 24 months. They were involved in relegation places with Ange. They went on to win the Europa League.
Say that again. 24 months.
It's shy of 24 months of this. Like, this is like back to back.
It's less than that, bro. Because remember, last season they were top of the table, weren't they? After 10 games, remember they won the title.
Yeah,
after 10 games. Let's not forget.
I'm being facetious, but we're talking about nearly one and 3/4 of a season. They've been spending in these spaces. Last season, they said it's because we prioritized the Europa League. Okay, so this season now, there's no Europa League. There's no FA Cup. There's no Carabao Cup. And you've just held, I think it's 7, or was it 8 against...
Atletico.
It was 7. It was 7. It was only 7.
2 games now. So you're out of all the cup competitions. So there's nothing that you were prioritizing apart from the league. And now they find themselves in a relegation battle. Nottingham Forest come there also. This was like a 6-pointer for them. Nottingham Forest crash it 3-0. I watched the game. Spurs started well. They were buoyant. They won the game against Atletico. They were just happy just to win the game. A few chances. Crossbar hit. I thought Archie should have done better with his shot. And then, that's what Forest do. They held on, scored from the corner. Gibbs White makes it 2-0. Another shot from Vicario. You think he should have saved that. He didn't. And then 3-0, which is a fantastic goal, by the way. Great finish. 3-0 at home to your relegation rivals is pretty bad. And Spurs, if they didn't think they were deep in it, they're seriously deep in it now. Ed, what's your thoughts on that, man? Relegation for Spurs. It started off as a joke. It started off as maybe banter for your Spurs mates. Yeah, you guys are in relegation. You blinked and it's March. You're thinking, no, surely not. Like, they'll turn this around. Palace at home, they get slapped. I'm thinking, right, this is silly now. Surely they're gonna away to Liverpool 1-1. You're thinking, oh, maybe. And then Nottingham Forest coming to town and you lose 3-0. 3-0 in a relegation battle at home is 3-0 on any day is bad, but not when you're trying to fight relegation. Ed, what's your thoughts, man?
God is good all the time. All the time.
All the time.
God is good. Yeah, man. So the worst thing about that day, yeah, and I know they will deflect because obviously Arsenal lost, and most Spurs fans, well, the illogical ones, the stupid ones, the ones that have got peanut butter for brains, they hate Arsenal more than they love Spurs. So anything to get the heat off them as a club and who they support, they'll take it like a nitty to crack. They did, and because it's Spurs, yeah, they used to being shameless, but that display they did for a relegation 6-pointer to get pumped 3-0 at home. You had your captain, your leader, your legend, Christian Romero, doing a 2-minute video to rile up the fans and whatever to dare whatever rubbish they were talking. Then you would have thought they were in the cup final when the Spurs coach rolls into the stadium and you saw the flares, man, are on bus stops, all that kind of stuff, and to do that, to roll over like that at home. And the reason why they're in the mud, the reason why it's really, really dark for them is their destiny, low-key, isn't even in their hands. Because I think if West Ham beat Wolves, yeah, Spurs go down to 18th. And then if you look at who they've got to play,
well, if they do lose, then they're gonna go to Sunderland first, away to Sunderland first. And that's going to be a very aggressive game. Sunderland I thought they were kind of wavering a bit, and they just won their derby against Tyne-Wear Derby. So again, that's a very difficult place. And Sunderland have beat up a lot of teams, man. We got a draw there. We got a draw there. They beat you up there, man. And it's going to be
especially the way Spurs are playing, especially the way they're playing. Yeah.
It's going to be aggressive. And then after they go away to Sunderland and West Ham have got Wolves, yeah. No, say that West Ham have got Wolves, and then Brighton come to town. Now Brighton have just beaten Liverpool, which we will talk about a little bit later in the show. So again, it's not an easy game, man. You know, Brighton are a better team than Forest. So again, it's looking techie. I think they've got. I'm reading or I'm hearing from a Spurs fan that Kudus is kind of close to return. I think they need him back,
but
ASAP.
They need Jesus Christ. They need God. They need God. That's what they need. Kudus coming back in this run-in. Pray that he can be like Tevez for West Ham in 06, 07.
Yeah, because
boy, it's dark. It's dark.
So they got Sunderland away, April 12th. Then they've got Brighton at home 4 days later. Then they're away to Wolves. Now we've seen Wolves now. You know, they're not really messing about, especially at Molineux. They're playing free-flowing football now. Difficult place. It's like the shackles are off now. But listen, let's just say they get the win. And then after, they're away to
Chelsea,
Villa
chasing Champions League.
Then they've got another huge 6-pointer because Leeds look like they could be dragged into it. And then they're away to Chelsea. And then the final game of the season, they have got Everton. And let me tell you something about Everton.
Away from home as well.
Away from home. It's looking dark. Especially that Everton game.
And Everton could be in for Europe. Let's not forget this. The way, we were discussing their win in a couple of games, but they could be in for Europe.
Everton are 8th now.
Yeah. Everton have had a quietly impressive season.
Shout out to boys.
However, I'm saying all this.
Everton are 3 points off top 5, lads.
Yeah. They always say you're never too big to go down, right? And I do believe that Spurs, like the cockroaches they are, they will avoid relegation. However, if they do the unthinkable, see the joy in my face, all 82 teeth showing, yeah? if they get relegated, there's two punks that are in our group chat, knobs. They know who they are. Is this camera on me? Which one? Lads, if you get relegated, please just leave the group and leave the country. Because if you hate me now, you're going to hate me for the rest of your life. This ain't no smoky talk. This is a promise. Every day of your natural lives, I'm going to remind you that you got relegated. You're going to have to ask where I live to try and fight me. I'm going to talk to you so disrespectfully. Look at the chill in my voice. It's calm. Because it's a promise. It's the truth. I'm many things. So I might even say I'm a liar. This one, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm going to make your life a living misery. The disrespect.
You know the thing is though.
Hey, let me cook.
He's past the time.
The disrespect I'm going to give to you punks. Just leave the WhatsApp group and delete my number. Block me. Because I'm going to speak to you so disrespectfully, yeah? You're going to ask who rate you. How do you speak to people like this? This is what you're going to be saying to me. I don't rate you. I don't rate you now. I don't rate you tomorrow. I don't rate you in the past. But if you get relegated, yeah, God help you. As you were, gentlemen. I just have to get that off my chest.
I'm just going to say, Ed, listen, I mean, it's not looking good for Spurs at the moment. It's squeezy bum time for them. That's why I'm surprised that they've got time to look at other people's results. I think sometimes when you're in the red like this, you'll be concentrated. But the funny thing is, Ed, I think learning, not from all, as I said, people I work with, I honestly, they're not all the same. And I can officially say that because I had quite a logical conversation with two today. And then I get onto my group chat and things turn very dumb, very Sesame Street. Very quickly, I just think to myself, okay, hold on, I'm in an adult conversation. And then things turn into the Teletubbies. That's the sort of language I feel I'm having with these Spurs guys. And the ones in the group chat, you know what they'll say? Oh, we're fine. We're relegated in the championship. But as long as Arsenal didn't win, I'm telling you, there's a large percentage of their fan base that if Arsenal don't win the league and they get relegated, they'll be happy with this. It's just a shameless situation there regarding that. Now, Naeem, I want you to lead on this one because Everton hit Chelsea for 3-0. Chelsea, what is going on? The season is going from worse to worse now. I mean, you wait to Everton, you're thinking, maybe we can do something here. They got hit for 3. I'm very comfortable for Everton as well. Rafinha is under mad pressure. Players are not responding. Champions League qualification. They've been knocked out by PSG as well.
They were banged up by PSG. Being polite. They were banged up by PSG.
Yeah, I mean,
never seen a goal. Chelsea in Europe. They don't. That normally doesn't happen to them, regardless of the teams they've had set up. And remember, they're world champions. They're just beaten this PSG team in the World Championship.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know, we forget less than a season ago, less than a year ago. I watched the game, and considering United had dropped points, Liverpool dropped points, this was a massive game for them to go in, especially with the gap that's opening up. You look at the form teams in the going for the Champions League. Villa, okay, regardless of what you think of Emre, will be there or thereabouts with the points they've already got. United, you could say one game a week, and the way they're playing, even though they did drop points, they'll stay up there. Massive game for Chelsea. We talked about Arsenal not performing in the cup final and Spurs not doing anything in that 6-pointer. Chelsea exactly said the same. Maybe they were still, sore from the PSG experience. However, take that as you will. I mean, I think I should.
What a word! Why do you say sore? That's a nasty word you use.
I think it does.
Let me be an adult about this. Sorry.
Yeah, but it felt. It did feel like it. I mean, their performance was. It did look like they had come out of intensive care. To be fair, the performance was against. I mean, they were poor back to front. I think one thing I've noticed with Chelsea a lot of recently, there seems to be a lot of shouting amongst, and we talk about team bonding and everything. Enzo Fernandez seems to be shouting at every single person, every single game. Defensively, they're all over the place. They can't keep anyone fit. That goalkeeper's awful.
Which one?
Which one?
Sanchez more. I think he's the one that you see more of. He's not good enough for that sort of team. And as we said, it breeds indecision at the back. But I'll give credit to Everton. I think Everton, especially at home, because away from home, we've seen how well they've played. I think they've got one of the best away records in the league. At home in their new stadium, they've been pretty poor. But without obviously Grealish, I thought they played pretty well. I thought they deserved the win. I think that's one thing you'll say. But I think Chelsea need to be very, very careful in terms that this season can fall apart very quickly now.
Very quickly.
That's why I'm thinking that soreness, a bit of numbness potentially as well. They'll be walking with a limp for the rest of the season, because I think that PSG mentally might have taken it out of them. They're top players. We talk about a lot. Sorry, Ed. We talk about them a lot in terms of Cole Palmer, for example.
He's a shell of himself. I don't get Cole Palmer this year.
But he hasn't been fantastic. Let's put it that way. Caicedo was one of the best midfielders in the world recently, but they were getting played through I don't want to repeat what I've been saying. But so I think Rosinia, he doesn't command any respect in that dressing room from what it comes across.
But who is though? That's the thing. We've heard every excuse under the sun.
I'm looking for excuse, but there is no excuse. You spend that when you spend that much money, though, regardless of how young the player's team is or what you're doing, you can't be performing like you are now. And I think it's a slippery slope for Chelsea. I back them the top 4 start of the season. At the moment, I think the way Brentford and Everton are playing, they're going to catch them up very easily. And I don't know what, even though we say, look, they've got City to come to them, and from the Arsenal lens, you'd expect Chelsea to potentially be, at the moment, the way they're playing, even
they're doing nothing against them. If they continue the way they're continuing.
Exactly. So
but Chelsea deserve this. Chelsea deserve this because...
Oh, I agree. 100%.
The way they're being run, say what you want to say about Roman Abramovich and, him cheating and him, bending the rules, whatever. But look what it led to. Yeah. Look what it led to. It led to their most glorious period, probably ever in their history. Countless trophies, 5 league titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 Europa Leagues. They just won everything. Countless Carling Cups, countless FA Cups, trophy laden. But what Blueco are doing it's a mess. It's a mess. The money they're spending as well, that's what's even more scary. You're spending billions to serve up that rubbish. And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure Rosini is a nice guy. And I'm glad he's got, a chance to manage a top club. But at the looks of it, he has no right being there. No right being there. He looks like the job is too big for him. He's not commanding the respect. And it's not even his fault. At the end of the day, if someone says to you, brother, you're going to manage Chelsea, as a manager, you're going to say, listen, I'm going to go there. I'm going to earn more money than I've ever earned. It's a top club with top players. I'd be a fool to say no. But on the flip side is, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? And on a separate note, when he says all this pseudo-intellectual stuff, that's when you know he might not be the right guy for the job. When you're saying stuff like, I'm managing, and then I'll break it down, and what's man and age? I'm aging men. What the hell is that?
It was that huddle around the ball as well that they were doing. They started doing this
around the ball. It's just a lot of this weird new age pseudo scientific, brother, get back to the fundamentals. Stop goals going in at one end and score the other end, and you'll be okay. All this respecting the ball rubbish. It's like, brother, what are you doing? You're clearly way out of your depth. And you're seeing it. The results ain't lying right now. And if they continue, they're going to be in real trouble, because if they don't even finish in the European spot, what's Cole Palmer going to think? As rubbish as he's been this season, you can say, listen, he's got the long-standing injury and whatever. He's a brilliant player on his day. He didn't leave Man City where he could have been just on the bench and picking up trophies. I know obviously he's picked up a few at Chelsea, but he could have stayed on the bench and picked up trophies. He left to be the main man for a resurgent Chelsea side going places. And right now he's probably looking at, hold on, you let Madueke go, you signing Garnacho, then you sign Gittins.
Yeah.
And you're signing all these men, you're replacing like for like, but they're not even like for like, they're worse. I've got no leaders in the dressing room.
Well, they have.
Who?
Reece James, apparently, Casado. These guys are like,
Leaders where, bro? Leaders where?
Maybe Reece James. I think I rate Reece James and potentially.
No. I'm just saying. Yeah, and remember the champions of the world. You don't become champions of the world. Enzo, these are leaders. Apparently.
Was Fabregas a leader for Arsenal, or was he a good player? And it's not a question.
He led by example, isn't it? Like in terms of the way. That's how.
But Ed, I'm agreeing with you on this. I'm just James
is a Fabregas type of captain. Yeah, because he might be a leader. I'm not in that dressing room in a minute. I'm not on the medical table either, because that's where he spends most of his time. But I'm not there. But when you think leaders, all you have to do is go back to 10, 15 years ago. Racist John, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, then Cahill.
You don't even look at Thiago Silva. You don't even look at Thiago Silva recently. Exactly. If you look at a leader, that's a leader, for example. Someone at the back, he even without the captain's armband.
So,
I mean, for me, listen, I agree with what you're saying. I think Chelsea fans are in a very. I've never actually seen them this down. Good. And I'm speaking to them at work again, different sort of Chelsea supporter, but they're not even really enjoying football anymore. Like, they literally, I've seen them like this.
They've been spoiled for 20 years. They've been spoiled for 20 years with their Bramwich money and what they've seen in the past. But let's not forget, and we haven't mentioned it, is they have been found guilty of some real dodginess. That fine they got,
especially this week as well. Yeah,
this week. That's what I'm saying. Let's not. All the eyes have been on City and Chelsea have been selling stuff to themselves, and I swear they own the King's Road allegedly, and they've sold it back to the council. I don't know, but they have been caught guilty. They've been guilty, and let's not. They got a fine, but it's clear that they have allegedly cheated their way to league titles.
They're a nasty club. We know this. They're a nasty club.
So you calm as a
nasty players. It is what it is, man. They won. You're still nasty. You're still nasty in it. So
it's definitely been. Listen, it's squeeze bomb time. They've got Manchester City next after the international break. No, I think they're in the FA Cup first. They've got Port Vale in the FA Cup, and then
they've still got United to come there. United go there.
Listen, they've got to turn it around though. What I'm saying is they got to get used to winning under Port Vale. They need to start scoring again. Cole Palmer needs to start scoring again. They've got the players though against Man City to get a draw or win. They can do it. However,
they need to their next 3 games. They got City. They then got in the league. They then got United going to Chelsea, and then they go to Brighton.
Yeah, listen.
And the way they're playing, I don't see them winning any of those games.
Listen, they need to. So let's see what happens. Listen, we're going to wrap up the show with Liverpool, the reigning league champions. Now, they're getting away with murder as well. Look, these are the reigning league champions, £500 million spend. They always tell me, look how much we sold, though. That's not my point. You've got a lot of top players right now. And again, this is the season where usually the loudest supporters are usually the Chelsea and Liverpool. They're loud. They're down now, Liverpool, man. They're really down.
Right, innit? Can't hear nothing from them.
Nothing. And I am absolutely... I've seen teams that have won leagues. Like I've seen Blackburn win. Leicester win, and I've seen pitiful defenses.
Chelsea had one as well, didn't they? I think Chelsea was one.
Yeah, I've never seen a championship team to spend that amount of money and really bring in, you're not bringing in minor players. You breaking the British transfer record twice. Everything that they said Chelsea was about. Liverpool were thrown, oh my God, look at Chelsea, look at City. They was breaking transfer record. Oh my God, it's disgusting. We don't have any money. You did it twice, man. Klopp would have loved some of that money. I'm telling you that now. And he would have spent that. Maybe on the wrong player if it wasn't for the team behind it. But still, he would have loved that sort of money. And you brought Wirtz in. Florian Wirtz. We're at the end of March now. I think Liverpool fans, they can't even defend it. It's been a horrible season. Not for the British record transfer. Of course, Isak was struggling badly. He's now injured now. All these guys, Gravenberch, they said he's the best DM in the Premier League. McAllister, Szoboszlai, Frimpong. Listen, they brought them all in. They've spent big money and they're league champions as well. You put Salah on astronomical contracts. He's falling off the face of the earth. Van Dijk looks shaky. It's shaky, man. It's really shaky. And I don't think this season could have got worse. They've got PSG next. The only thing you got to say about Liverpool, and they've got Man City in the cup. Honestly, those two games for me, the season is the season in the league, man. You don't go and spend 500 mil and you're now struggling to not even finish in the top 2. Like, you should be really on a league title battle. Everyone's making excuses. Now Slot was the master, and look what he's done now.
Nice
Just
ball.
on it. Now, yeah, he's rubbish. I want him gone.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you could not make this up. And these are supposed to be Liverpool supporters, supposed to be the most logical supporters out there. Thinkers.
Logic for what?
This is what they say.
So they tell themselves.
They told us about Wirtz when we said he's not good. Or not that he's not good, it's a risk spending that sort of money. Bring him in, 60 mil, 70 mil. Cool. I'm not saying that he's not a top player, but when you're coming for British transfer record, you've got to be making some moves.
How much was he again? Was it
116 million pounds?
It's 116 million pounds, right? Okay.
The King's finest. Yeah. That's listen.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm all right. I said this August. I said, listen, he's not who you think he is. And it shows. Like, he was name brand in Germany, but how many name brand attackers in Germany come over to England and do really well? There's a litany of them. So this is not to get onto Wirtz and kick him while he's down. But yeah, you're the British transfer record. Well, you were, and you served up this. You served up 2 packs of garbage, of German garbage. Like, this is bad. This is bad. We're in March. We've got a week left, 8 days left, and it's April. And we don't know when his next goal is coming from. We don't know when his next assist is coming from. We don't know if he's going to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Say what you want to say about Odegaard and other players that have failed to bear fruit this year. At least they got credit in the bank. Maybe next year you might come and
I think it's going to be. Listen, there's going to be a few players, Ed, that
I'm going to call it.
Especially for Liverpool, both of their signings.
Yeah,
they need to step it up next season.
Next season
as well. They need to hit the ground running, man. Next season,
brother.
They'll get Alonso in. I've watched them. They'll sack Slot and they'll get Alonso in just to try and get the best out of Wirtz. Is one of the main things, right? Because that's what it is.
Actually. Yeah, that's a great.
You can see that happening.
That's a good shout.
That's a great point. Yeah. I didn't think they were going to move with Slot. I think at the end of the day, Slot has been this good for them. He's won in the league. You would think, I'm just saying what they told me at the end of last year, that he's this good and this is how great he is. That's the thing. Liverpool supporters, some of them like to philosophize a lot about, this is that. You're not seeing what I'm seeing. So I'm just saying, if you really believe it, if everything that you said in that first season for Slot is true, and you want me to hold you to your word, then give him another season. This is just a one-off, right?
Well, this is his season, right? His players. I think last season you could safely say that was Klopp's team set up, didn't sign any players. Maybe lucked out a bit there. Now,
no, probably he didn't luck out.
I'm just saying both sides of the coin.
No, you're right. But everybody else was criticised, wasn't it? It was like, look, he's just come in and he's done his thing, and he's come in one season. He's achieved, what other people are having, and it's true. You can't take that away from him. But
I hear it. But they are 5th. It's not good enough. If Liverpool are ruthless, they sack him at the end of the season, because again, you can't finish, like you said, outside the top 2 with the money you've spent.
Not with that money, Ed. No, yeah, you're right.
And with the players they bought, the calibers of players they bought,
and then the way they did it as well. Remember, they started moving sexy. Like, okay, we're here now.
Yeah,
we're champions. We get who we want. We take people's players. We take people's targets as well. What they did to Newcastle was straight skullduggery, straight bully boy. You took Isak and you took Ekitike. You mashed up their striker search.
And they ended up with this one, who people said he was going to be great, and he's now.
I haven't seen him play for a bit.
Remember at the beginning of the season, people,
he looked decent. He did actually. To be fair, he didn't start well, and then he's just.
He looked all right, but there's he knows who he is.
We see you, Naeem.
I'll see him score at the World Cup. Don't you worry about it.
Okay,
but with Liverpool,
now he's playing central midfield. It's mad.
Yeah, now he's a 10. But with Liverpool again,
the new Havertz. There
you go. Nasty. Back to Liverpool though. Yeah, it's been a shambles. It's been a shambles. We even forget that Slot and Salah had passer. That's how much of a shambles the season has been. That was months ago.
That wasn't even that long ago. Just for the January transfer, just for AFCON.
Yeah, and it's looking dark. And then Salah's come back and he looks a shell of himself. It looks like it's the end of the road for him.
There's a lot of questions, though, isn't it, Ed? There's a lot of questions. Wirtz has to hit the ground running next season. They need to see their investment from Isak back. What they're going to do with Gakpo. They've just given Gravenberch big money. Salah's on big money now.
They need a right back, centre back.
They need a right back, centre back.
They bought that Xhaka. They have signed that. He's going to be really hype of that.
Xhaka, yeah, from Rennes. But he's broken his shoulder, didn't he? He had shoulder surgery. So that's
again. He'll be back though. But one thing is, Rennes. You look at the players that come out of that academy. I think you can't count it.
They've mashed some serious money.
Yeah, serious. Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. But listen, lads, and everybody, thank you for tuning into the Offside Chat. I think it was passionate today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for tuning in, man. It has been passionate, man. Very opinionated. Like it, fiery. God bless.